Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, and this is a long overdue video about my labor and Noah's birth basically. Hi friends, I've got a surprise. I am in labor. I'm 37 weeks today, and this morning at 2 just after 2 my water broke, and I've been steadily getting contractions, so yeah, I am officially in labor. Contractions have been on and off, but like going from a little bit painful to extremely painful, and I'm currently in the stage of extremely painful. But it's not time for me to go to the hospital just yet. We're monitoring it from home. But yeah, my baby is on its way, so I'm very excited. Bit of a surprise because it is early, but he is measuring big, so not to worry about that. Yeah. So let's get right into it, because like I said, this video is very long overdue. Noah was born on the 28th of September, and we are on the 20th of November, so it's long overdue. It's just motherhood's gotten busy with me, and I don't want to say in the way because it's a blessing and I'm really happy for it. He's currently just having a little bit of a lay down, so if you hear noises, that's him. Anyway, so that's basically where I've been. It's just been busy, me being a new mum, adjusting and recovering from my emergency C-section that I ended up having. But yeah, let's just jump into this and let's start from the beginning. So my mucus plug, TMI, my mucus plug started coming out on the 26th, the evening of the 26th. So I messaged my midwife, I told her what was going on, that I thought it was my mucus plug. She agreed. She's like, nothing to worry about, because some people's mucus plugs comes out weeks prior to them giving birth. So Noah was due on the 20th of October. So he's 3 weeks. This is like he was born 3 weeks, 3 weeks prior. He was born on the 37 weeks. Anyway, back to the story. My mucus plug came out, so we weren't worried, because it's like, okay, well, when I messaged her and told her what was going on, it's like, well, it can come out, it's fine, no worries, it will come back, it will grow back if need be. So that was about 6 o'clock in the evening, if I recall. 6 o'clock in the evening that started happening, and then we went to bed around 10, have a good sleep about till 2, just before 2, like I'm talking a few minutes before 2 o'clock in the morning on the 27th. I woke up, I needed to go pee, so got up, went to the bathroom, and went back to bed, and just as I was falling asleep, I just felt this rush and then a pop, and I was literally as I was falling asleep, so I thought, oh no, did I pee myself? Like, this is weird. So this is basically why I haven't been able to get much videos done, because I keep on getting little cute interruptions like this one. So yeah, I got a pop. I felt literally like a balloon pop, and then I was like, oh, okay, do I need to go pee again? So as soon as I got up off my bed, I just felt the rush of water coming down my legs, and I was like, oh no, I just had a whoopsie. Oh, okay, that was a good burp. Good job. I just felt this rush, and so the water came down. I ran to the bathroom, and yeah, I was pretty sure that was actually my water that broke. And funny enough, that night, the night before the 26th, that night, I actually put down a pee pad on my bed underneath my sheets, because I was like, well, we're getting in that time where my water can break during the night and blah blah blah. So I kind of pre-predicted it without knowing. Yeah, so went back to bed, just laid down, and I was like, okay, I'll feel if my contractions will start. And then I started feeling contractions, but I wasn't sure if it was just cramping or contractions, because I've never felt this before. And we got to the point I got to the point where I was pretty sure I was having contractions. I started like recording them, and so I woke up my husband. I told him my water broke. I'm gonna call my midwife just to, because like I said, it's my first baby. I've never done this before. I don't know what's supposed to happen. So this was, I think, so my water broke just after 2. So round about 4ish, I called my midwife and I let her know what's happening. She confirmed with me that it is actually my water that broke. And by this point, I just had fluid like leaking out of me. So TMI. Bobby, what are you doing? I don't know what he wants to do. He's just staring at everything. He likes the light. He loves staring at the light. Okay, do you want to stare at the camera? Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Okay, let's get him rested. Is this still... Nope, this is not a good sun view. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, confirmed with my midwife. And she just told me, okay, by the next day, so by the 27th, sorry, not the next day, later in the day, by mid-morning, if I'm still having contractions, she'll check in with me. If I'm still having contractions and it's still strong and good, then I'll go into the hospital. So basically went back and laid down, couldn't sleep, neither could my husband, we were just too excited. So we just laid, and then for some reason time flew, like it just, even though I was having contractions, all of that, my contractions started to slow down about mid-morning. When my midwife texted me, because she was in the hospital already with somebody else having their baby. So I let her know the contractions have slowed down. They're not 5 minutes apart anymore. They've gone to 15 minutes apart. So she said, okay, no, I can still stay home. I just need to rest as much as possible. Which, if you're having contractions, even if it is every 10-15 minutes, you're not resting much. Like, you can't sleep because it wakes you up. The contractions wakes you up. So I was at home, just laying on the couch, trying to sleep a little bit, but that wasn't happening much. So by 5 o'clock, or 4, she called me again and she said, hey, I've got 2 options. I can either come into the hospital and just come and stay there for the night, or I can stay home, see how it goes. If contractions pick up again, then I call her during the night and I go into the hospital. So I said, no, I'll rather choose to come into the hospital, sleep there for the night. It is my first baby. I don't know what to expect. The contractions are there, and it's getting painful, so I want to go in. We ended up going in. I went there for the night. My husband stayed till a little bit late with me. I can't remember till what time he stayed. I think 10 or 11. He stayed with me. And then he went home. I told him to go home so he can go and sleep. To note, at this point, they did not give me a cervical check to see how dilated I am. Apparently the OB told them don't do cervical checks because my mucus plugs come out, my water's broken. They don't want germs, like they don't want to give what's the word? They don't want me to get an infection, basically, because you can't get an infection because it's open. So yeah, basically because your mucus plugs came out. So they want to keep germs out of my cervical area, which was a mistake. I'm saying it, my OB will disagree probably, my midwife maybe too, but I feel like it was a mistake. They should have checked how dilated I was. And then we carried on. I was there for the night, contractions all through the night. I could not sleep. It was so bad. It started getting really painful, and my contractions would go from 10 minutes apart to 7 minutes apart to 5 minutes apart. I kept on recording it on my phone myself, and the nurses kept on checking up on me during the night, and around about 4 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't take the contractions anymore. It was getting too painful, and I wasn't having any pain relief at that point. They didn't offer me, which I only realized later on, they won't offer me. I had to ask. They can't, I don't know why, but they can't offer me pain relief. I have to ask for pain relief. And so I just said, hey, is there anything that I can get pain-wise, because this is getting unbearable and I can't sleep and I'm tired. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, we can give you the gas, the laugh gas, or we can give you Medicam. We just need to check with the OB. We'll just call your doctor. And I was like, well, give me the Medicam. I want something strong because I need to sleep. I'm exhausted. I haven't slept properly for over 24 hours now. I've been in labor for over 30 hours by then, I think it was. Anyway. No, not 30 hours. I've been in labor for 26 hours by then. And that's when I got my Medicam. So the moment she gave me the Medicam, it got a lot better and I could actually sleep. So I slept for a few hours. So the plan was by 9 o'clock that morning, they were going to induce me because clearly I wasn't going anywhere. The contractions had slowed down. I got a few hours of sleep. I slept till about between 7 and 8. So a good 3 hours of sleep. Yay. And the contractions were coming back. So I got breakfast. I didn't eat then, did I? No, I did. I did eat something. I did eat then. And then I was taken to the delivery room. So they were going to induce me, give me oxytocin, and get my labor starting again. Which they did. I got put into the labor room. I'll post a photo here somewhere of how my labor room looked. At this point, I was always planning on having a not always planning, but I was planning on having a natural birth. Didn't want to have a C-section because I didn't feel it was needed. I wanted to try to do this natural, as natural as possible, but with pain relief and with an epidural. So started getting induced. I think around, I can't recall the time because by this time I wasn't looking at the time because the contractions was just getting so bad. But I called for an epidural. So this is 9 o'clock in the morning that I started getting induced. Later in the day, I called in for an epidural. I said I wanted it. Luckily, the anesthetist was in the building and he was like very close. So he's like, hey, he'll come up now and quickly do it. He put in my epidural and honestly, he was a lifesaver. That doctor, I'll tell you more about him, but he was fantastic. Put in the epidural. Of course, I did not know how an epidural is supposed to feel and how it's supposed to work. So once the epidural was in and I had my rush of things, he did explain to me that sometimes an epidural might not work if the placement was a bit off or there's a kink or whatever, but we just call him, he'll come and fix it. But I could feel the pain on the one side of my leg, like the one side's cramping is gone, but the other one I can still feel after a while. And so they told me to learn the side that I can still feel it, so I did, to see how it goes. They also did a cervical check then for the first time since I've gone into labor. So by then I've been well and truly, into labor. Like I was already like 36 hours or something like that by then. And then they did a cervical check. I was 2 centimeters dilated. So I was going nowhere. 2 centimeters dilated. And they also, both the midwives in the hospital said I should have been checked beforehand. But because my OB didn't want to do it, they've got no recollection of where I'm at. Like they don't know if I've gone backwards or if I've always just been 2 centimeters or if I progressed from 1 or whatever. But I was getting nowhere. I was at 2 centimeters and I've been in labor for 36 hours by then. We got to a point of, I told them, hey, this is really painful. The epidural's not working. I'm still in pain. Should I still be feeling anything? And so they called the anesthetist back. So he said, no, we'll just redo it. We'll pull it out, redo it. I didn't feel anything. Like I said, he was absolutely fantastic. So we redid it and instantly I can feel a relief. I could feel the difference between the first one and the second one. I could feel the relief. I was like, okay, this is good. But it wasn't fully, I wasn't taking the pain fully away. I was a lot lighter. I could feel the coldness of it going into my system. And so he left again. At this point, I think it was around about 3 o'clock because they called my midwife to say, hey, this is what's going on. And because this my second epidural. So this is when they called my midwife. And she said, apparently, she told them to, okay, get her in for a C-section because she's not progressing, get her in for a C-section. They never told me this. And so we carried on. My pain was coming back. I could still feel it. It was getting unbearable. And when I'm talking, the pain was getting unbearable. I'm talking, I couldn't breathe. Couldn't speak. I was freaking out because my epidurals were not working. My contractions were seconds apart. It felt like something was pressing on my pelvis, trying to get out. This was extremely traumatizing for me, this part. I feel very bad for my husband, because he was having to see me in this amount of pain. I did ask him to take photos, to record as much as possible, and just to show how bad it was getting to this point, the amount of pain I was in. And he only took 2 photos. Like, he couldn't do videos, he couldn't do anything else. It was getting really bad. Like, I was rolling around on that bed, I was screaming, I was just unbearable. Like, I couldn't do anything. So they got me the laughing gas, because my midwife realized, the hospital's midwife realized that the epidural is definitely not working. So she called the anesthetist to come back, but he was busy at that time, so he was coming as soon as he can, because clearly the epidural, there was something wrong. It wasn't working with my body. And like I said, the contractions was literally seconds apart. Like, I had no break. It literally felt like I was being pulled apart from my hips, like the amount. It felt like I was being pulled apart. Then the weekend, because this fell on a weekend, the weekend's OB, which I met earlier, she came in, and she's like, okay, well, she'll check my cervix. So she did, and I said, please be gentle, because it's already painful. She was not gentle. I wanted to smack her. If I was in the right state of mind, I probably would have smacked her, because she was really hard the way she checked. And she's like, oh, okay, you're 4 centimeters dilated. So the whole hour, everything, I just progressed 2 centimeters. And she's like, well, she's progressed 4 centimeters. We can go, well, she can still go natural. And I just looked at her and I said, if no. And I was just like, I want this baby out. I want this baby out now. And I was screaming that. And I got emotional and I started crying. And she immediately, I think then she realized what was going on, how long I've been in labor, how much pain I was, because my anesthetist also walked in with a different drug, because he realized, okay, I was having epidural drug failure. Like, the drug wasn't doing anything for me. And then she realized, okay, I'm actually in a lot of pain. This is not working. I am sucking the laughing gas, the green gas, like it's air. Like, I had the pipe in my mouth constantly. I was breathing it in like it was air, and it wasn't doing much. It was actually making it worse for me. It was making me more anxious and more paranoid. But they just kept on telling me to keep on sucking on it. So the moment I told her I want the baby out, I want him out now, like that, she's like, okay, well, get you in for C-section straight away. She'll get on the phone. Then the anesthetist was busy talking with the hospital's midwife, and then he came over to me and he tried to talk to me, to let me know, to ask me what's going on. And I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak to him. I was just all over the place. Like, my face was going like this. Like, I was just everywhere. I couldn't focus. And then he's like, okay, no, he's just going to give it to me. He spoke to my husband and he's like, can you give me this drug? And my husband just said yes, like, he just give it to her. He gave it to me, and within like 10 seconds, instant relief. I could speak, I calmed down, so I could tell him what was going on. He explained to me, okay, unfortunately this can happen where it's the drug that fails. Clearly it's not the way he did the epidural, because he didn't change anything. He just gave me a new drug and the pain went away. So it was the drug that failed. So once that was in, things got better for me, even though I started getting very nauseous, and I was still, they were getting me ready to take me down, because I was the last C-section for the night, but luckily everybody was still there, so I didn't have to wait long. And this was around about just before 7 that this was happening. So they took me down, they took my husband down, got him dressed in a gown and everything for him. They took me down, and as they were putting me onto the table, I started throwing up. I felt so bad because I couldn't do anything. I just turned my head and I started throwing up. And of course, everybody in the theater was so sweet. They were all just like rubbing my head and rubbing my back. Unfortunately, they did not know that I hate being touched. When I'm in pain, do not touch me. I don't like it. I will get violent. I would get violent and aggressive, but I would get really upset and I'll tell you to leave me alone. But at this point I couldn't. I was just so over it. I was throwing up. And they were all being so sweet. They got it. Like, everybody's talking to me nice and calm. And at this point, yeah, I was over it. I wanted this little cuteness out. I wanted him out. Because I said like I was going for a natural birth, I was not prepared mentally for a C-section. I did not know what to expect with it. I could still move my legs, even though I was numb and dead. I could still move my legs at this point. And then they started the C-section, and I hated every second of it. It was very traumatic for me, them cutting me open. I could feel the cutting, I could feel the muscles pulling back, and I could feel like literally the skin moving. Like, I'm not feeling the pain, but I could feel the motions. I could feel the literally the skin popping. Like, that's the feeling that I was feeling. And I couldn't stand it. I wanted to be out of there. I was freaking out in my mind. Like, I know I couldn't freak out because then I'll freak out the doctor, but it was terrible. And then I felt him coming out. And once I heard him cry, it helped a lot. He was beautiful. They showed him to me. He was beautiful with all the goo on him. They showed him to me. My husband went with him. They measured him, got him sorted. They brought him back. I'll show you the photo of us three there. Showed him to me, and I gave him a quick cuddle and a kiss. And then they were busy packing me up and cleaning me out. And I think that the OB had a trainee with her because she was talking like how they were doing this. But I hated it. I hate feeling them inside me. She was washing me out. I could feel that. At some point I felt this really burning motion, like a burning pain. I don't know what they were doing then, but I could feel that, and that was really uncomfortable. And I told them I could feel this, I hate this. And I literally said, ow. And this is where the anaesthetist was so sweet. Like, during this whole process of me going into the theater, he was with me and my husband the whole time. He kept talking to us, and then I think he could see that I was really starting to panic. Like, I don't know if my blood pressure dropped or what was happening, but he could see that I was really starting to freak out. So he came over, he put his hand on my shoulder, and he was looking me in the eyes, and he's like, "You are doing great. Calm down. You just take a breath." Oh no, he didn't tell me calm down. He just said, "You're doing great. Take a deep breath. They're almost done." And he looked over the curtain, like I could see him look over the curtain, and he's like, "Okay, they're busy doing this right now. They're almost done. You're almost out of here." And he rubbed my shoulder, and that reassured me that everything was okay, because in that moment, my husband didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to tell me. And so that really helped me. And then once they were done, everybody's congratulations, and I got him in my arms. I'll show you more photos of that. But I was traumatized. I was really... This is probably the worst thing I've ever been through in my entire life. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anybody and say, oh, it was so magical or whatever. No, this was the most terrifying thing I've ever been through in my life. The pain was the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And yeah, I don't ever want to go through that again. Okay, after that, they got me into my backup. He was born on the 28th of September at 7:15 at night. And they got me back up to my room, my in-laws, and they could quickly meet him and me and just see that we were okay. But then after that, they had to leave because they had to leave at 8. And yeah, Shem stayed for a little bit longer during the night, and we got settled. But yeah, so that's his labor and delivery. We were in the hospital for about 2-3 days after that, and that's when we came home. And yeah, that's my labor and delivery story. So my conclusion from this is the whole memory thing that they talk about, like you forget your birth, you forget the pain. That's actually very true. I don't know what the hormone's called, but that is actually very true, because I know my birth was very, very traumatic for me. And yeah, I don't ever want to go through it like that again. But I can't remember how the pain felt, like the physical pain I can't remember, but I know it was the worst pain of my life. Like, I can know that for a fact. And where I said initially, I will never want another child again. I never want to go through that again. My pregnancy was horrible. The birth was horrible. Like, it was just horrible. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I want him to have a sibling. Like, if we're going to go camping or we're going to go away on stuff, he needs a sibling, he needs a friend. My mind's already changed with that. Like, I want another child. But if I'm going to have a C-section, I will be put out. Because I know for a fact now I cannot handle open surgery, like awake surgery. I cannot handle that. So if I do have it again, they're gonna have to knock me out completely, and I'm fine with that if they do it. If I don't meet him for the first time, if I don't meet my baby as the first person or whatever, that's fine. My husband met him first. My husband held him first, so I'm not bothered by that. But like I said, I'll be knocked out completely, and I will be much more assertive when it comes to the hospital. I will be saying more, because for a lot of this my midwife wasn't there, which is fine because there was a C-section, and the hospital was fantastic. Like, the hospital was insanely good. I'm really happy with the staff there, but I will be much more assertive, and I will be telling them what I want, or ask them, hey, can I get this or stuff. I won't just assume that they're gonna offer me stuff if they see that, hey, she's in pain, or hey, this is happening, because apparently I don't think they're allowed to. Like, you have to tell them. So yeah, that is the labor story. I hope I wasn't too distracting with me looking around and not looking really at the camera. As you can see, it's not a very comfortable story for me to tell. Like I said, it was really horrible for me, so I don't really like talking about it. Yeah, but that's my labor. That's Noah's birth. He's just so cute. He's the light of my life, honestly. I'm so blessed and lucky to have him. He did have a little alien head. Oh man, I completely forgot to tell this. So yes, he was never going to be able to be born naturally. When my midwife got him out, she looked at his head, she looked at him, and she's like, he was never going to be a natural birth. He was always going to be a C-section baby. So I don't know how she knew that, but from how it looked and everything, he had bruising underneath his eye and his head was like alien shaped, like very elongated, of him trying to come out. So the pressure that I was feeling down below, the pressure of something coming out, wanting to come out, that was him pushing to come out. Like, he was trying to come out, and he was just not being able to go through the hole. Like, my cervix wasn't dilated enough for him. So he was pressing into bone, and so his heart rate at some point also shot up. My heart rate shot up. Yeah, so he was never going to be born naturally, basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, it was always going to be a C-section baby. But he is the cutest, and in the end, I'm very happy he's here and he's safe and he's healthy. He's so good. He did so well with his 6 weeks vaccinations. I'm proud. I'm very proud of him. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Thank you if you kept watching this all the way. Like, I think it's going to be a 30-minute long video or close to it, as I can see on my watch. So if you stayed here all the way, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, talk to you in the next one. Bye.
You only have a newborn for 8 short weeks. Then they will never be this little again. Though the stage is stressful and exhausting, try to enjoy the fleeting moments before they are gone. There will be things you will miss and things you won't miss about it, and that's okay. Just remember, it's not meant to be easy, it's meant to be a season. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Nothing in the world is worth having or worth doing unless it means effort, pain, and difficulty."